Hi, it's Lauren, and I'm back with another Etsy packaging video. One thing that I got really excited about when I first started my Etsy shop was planning out the packaging. Give this video a thumbs up if you also appreciate some really well-designed packaging. I made a video about how I package my Etsy orders a while back, so I felt like it was time for an update. Today I'm going to walk you through how I package up my Etsy orders to send to customers and share with you some things to think about when you are designing your own unique packaging. This video is sponsored by No Issue, a company that prints tissue paper and labels with your own custom design. If you know me and you've watched my videos for a while, you might know that I get really excited about good branding, and so when they reached out to me and offered to print some of my designs on tissue paper and sticker labels, I was very happy. First of all, I thought it would be a perfect fit for another one of these branding videos. People have been asking me to do more of them, and I ended up really liking all of the new designs that I did, and it turned out so good. There's really nothing like seeing your artwork printed on something physical, and so I'm gonna end up using these supplies in my Etsy packaging now, and I'm excited to show you all of it. So now I'm going to go through and show you how I package a few of the different kinds of items in my shop, FairweatherFriends. I hope that this will give you a little inspiration when you're designing and sourcing your packaging and customizing it to fit your shop, because it can definitely help to see what other shops are doing to package their products. Reminder to maybe not copy them exactly. I get messages sometimes from folks who want very specific details about all of my packaging supplies, their exact dimensions, and where I got them. I'm happy to help get you started, but I would appreciate if you put a little bit of thought and research into it as well. So when I'm packaging my plushies, which are kind of the main item in my shop, I take out a piece of tissue paper. This is the new printed paper from No Issue that I designed, and I'm really excited about it. I illustrated all of these little animal habitats, so it's kind of like a little home for the plushie. No Issue prints on acid-free and sustainably sourced paper using soy-based inks. They also accept a pretty low minimum order quantity, starting at 250 sheets, which is nice as a smaller Etsy shop that probably would take a really long time to use 1,000 sheets of tissue paper. You can also check out their store at noissue.co to see more examples of packaging that their customers have designed. So I put the plushie or plushies onto the wrong side of the tissue paper and then roll them up so the design's on the outside. And then in order to hold it in place, I put on one of these labels with my logo on it that I had printed a really long time ago. I had to have 1,000 of these printed, so I still have lots of them left. A lot of folks ask me where I got these specific labels printed, and honestly, I was not happy with the process of ordering from this specific store. Typically, I would share that kind of information with you, but I did not feel comfortable doing so in this particular situation. I did have a new set of labels made by No Issue as part of this sponsorship, and so I designed something that I thought would be really cute on the outside of the envelope. So now I need to make the tag that goes onto this package. I take some craft paper cardstock and I punch out a tag shape that there's actually this punch that looks like a tag, which saves so much time as opposed to cutting out individual tag shapes by myself with scissors. And then I punch a hole in one end with a punch that makes heart-shaped holes. I am completely aware that this is a process. I really love doing this. It's not for everybody. And then on the tag, I usually write a little thank you note for the customer. If this was marked as a gift, I will write the specific gift message that the customer asked for onto the tag instead. Then I tie up the package with some colorful baker's twine from a shop called The Twinery, and I tie on the little tag. Whew, that's it. The plushie packaging is a lot more involved than the other ones, but I'm gonna get onto those now. I also sell necklaces featuring my animal characters in my Etsy shop. So the necklaces go onto these little cards that I actually printed myself on just a cheap regular printer. I have not had very good luck with printing my own cardstock at home, so my strategy for this is to not spend a whole lot of money on a really fancy printer and to just design things that are very simple to print out on just a plain office printer. Most home printers are not designed to print on cardstock, so I find that it wears them out pretty quickly and I have to replace it every couple of years. So I do not want to spend a lot of money on a printer that can't really handle this sort of thing. Another tip that I can give you is to choose a printer where the paper goes straight through the printer and lands at the bottom without turning around. A lot of printers have the paper go in the same place where it comes out and it has to turn around inside in order to get out. Cardstock does not handle that well, and the printer does not handle that well. Things get stuck. it breaks a lot sooner. So I've had a lot of luck with this particular printer. It's outdated at this point, but I'll put information in the video description below because you can put the cardstock or the paper in the back and it goes straight through and lands in the front. And once it comes out, I can cut up all the different cards. I print multiple on one page. So the necklace goes on the card. I use one of these tiny plastic baggies to hold the back of the chain so it doesn't get tangled up. And then I put that into a craft paper jewelry box. I get my jewelry boxes as well as little canvas bags, which I'll show you in a bit, and also my bubble mailers and envelopes that I send the packages in from uline.com. I've had good luck with them. They ship really fast and you can buy them in pretty big bulk amounts, so they cost less money per item than if you were to go to the post office and just buy packaging there. Another kind of item that I sell in my shop are these little felt pins, and those go onto a card that I print out. These cards are one of my favorite things I've designed. So I attach the pin onto the card and then put it into a little canvas bag. Eventually, I would like to have a custom stamp made that will fit on the front of these little bags, but for now, they're just blank. I know, right? So unlike me. So once I've packaged up everything that this particular customer has ordered, I print out a shipping label from Etsy's shipping label function on my laser printer, which is a different printer. I put the label on the envelope before I fill up the envelope because it's a lot easier to flatten it on the table that way, and then I put all the items into the package. I put in a business card for my shop. Sometimes I also include my social media business card with information about my YouTube channel and all of this other stuff that I do, just in case they want to find me elsewhere. If the package required any kind of additional note, I'll write that on a separate piece of paper and tuck that in as well. And once everything is in there and the label is on, I close up the envelope, and then I can use my fancy new labels that No Issues sent me, and I'm going to put that on the back of my envelopes. And since we're getting close to the time of year where folks like to start thinking about buying gifts for their loved ones, I am going to show you how I add a little holiday twist to my November and December orders. So I also have a punch that makes big snowflakes, so I will cut a bunch of those out and tape them onto the tag before I punch the hole. So that way I can still do the previous steps the same way. It's just something a little special for folks who buy from me this time of year. When they buy a necklace, I just cut out a snowflake, write the note on that, and then I use a little bit of washi tape to tape it on top of the box. And if they buy one of my pins, I just tuck the snowflake note inside of the canvas bag. So one of the first things that I knew when I first started my Etsy shop, FairweatherFriends, back in 2010, is that I wanted my packaging to make people feel the same way that my products do. Because a lot of thought and love goes into every step of the process, and I'm the one who takes the time to do that for them. I love that Etsy shops can have such a personal feel if you let them, versus buying a factory-made item from a big box store. The way I see it, packaging is the first thing someone sees when they receive your products in the mail. To me, that makes it almost as important as the handmade items themselves. Receiving an order from a store that has cute packaging is one of my favorite things about buying from Etsy in the first place, especially when the packaging further enhances the feel of the branding from the shop. I nerd out about things like this in case you couldn't tell. Functionally, packaging also plays an important role in protecting your items. Keeping them flat if your products tend to bend, dry if the package gets wet, less likely to break, and otherwise in the condition that you intend for them to arrive. Sending handmade items in the mail can be nerve-wracking because you've spent so much time making them, and suddenly you're just expecting complete strangers to deliver them across the world safely and you have no control over them. I feel like good packaging can send your products off into the world with their best foot forward. And even if your box or envelope looks like it's been through a hurricane by the time it arrives, they could still open it up to find a thoughtfully curated set of packaging with their purchases safely inside. I also think about what kind of information the person opening the package might want to have. Lots of folks buy an item to give as a gift to someone and have it sent directly there as a surprise. Etsy has a function where they can request that you include a gift note and they can customize what it says, which I always recommend that people do because you definitely don't want the person receiving it to think that they've received it by mistake and refuse it. Including information about you and your shop inside the package can be really helpful, especially if the person ends up having questions about it. And including a contact email on a business card or something like that can encourage them to do so if they need to. Etsy does have a gift wrapping option that you could utilize if you want to come up with two different levels of packaging, but either way, I decided that I wanted to wrap all of my orders that come in. I feel like someone who took the time to buy something handmade for themselves deserves to feel like they've been given a present too. I've gotten a lot of really nice messages from customers who weren't expecting it and really loved the packaging, which is wonderful. However you decide to package your products, putting thought and care into every step is a great way to send off your products to the folks who support your handmade business. I hope that you have lots of fun putting yours together. In the comments below, I'd love to hear about an example of packaging you received that made your day. Did you ever receive an item that made you smile before you even opened it? If you liked this video, remember to subscribe and click the notification bell so you can keep up with me when I make something new. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.